Obviously, I'm a Yankees fan, so I'd love to see him.
It's almost like legacy of like the NFL versus.
But I definitely think that Baker could be a really good player for the Panthers moving forward.
Did I say Oreos?
There's a lot of questions I have about Mahomes. Looks like a kid playing Madden.
Turning point in the game is the 13-second drive.
They play very hard, even though they're terrible.
He's a good pick. For sure. He's going to be a good player. But I can't argue against the Jamar Chase pick.
They made moves saying we're going to win this year, at least get into the playoffs.
I'm going with my guy, Corey Seager. So glad.
What's good, y'all? My name's Austin Drummond, and I play rugby for the University of Notre Dame. And you're listening to The Outsider's Opinion with Austin and Kevin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. Today we're going to be talking about expectations for new coaches and a man that is setting the expectations, Austin.
Give yourself a little bit more credit. We're both setting the expectations here.
That's true.
I
had to figure out another way to introduce you.
I see.
So.
I get it. I understand. But man, I expected more firings. Did you? Only 5 new coaches is kind of few.
Yeah. I think I'm surprised Ron Rivera stayed. Or
Brandon Staley.
Brandon Staley. Yeah, that's true. That's another good point. Yeah. 5 seems a little too little.
Yeah, I definitely can agree with that.
So so we're gonna be doing expectations. You have wins. There's some, especially since there are a lot of bad teams, there's just something that if I'm looking for them, I need to see them do, and that I have expectations for them to do.
So is it, like you said before the video, circumstantial? Do you want to kind of explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so I'll just say one of mine. So Frank Reich, to me, I just need to see Bryce Young do well. And for them not to be bad. So
they lose what is not be bad?
Like if they lose, if they do not have, if they
do
don't
you
have
see the
more
games
than
to be
3
competitive?
wins, I need them to be competitive. I need at least more than 4 wins. And I think they accomplished that with a good Bryce Young.
Okay. But I think another important point is how close these games are. Because if a lot of the games are blowouts, I don't think that's all that much improving to the team.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, my main thing is because I view them, they brought Frank Reich to help them solve their quarterback issue.
But he doesn't have to be, and I'm sure he doesn't have to be their savior this year.
No, you just need to see Bryce Young not to look lost. Like, I want to see Bryce Young do something similar to probably what Trevor Lawrence did this year.
But
a little bit lower.
Yeah, I was about to say you made the playoffs, so it's kind of different expectations there.
How would you describe Trevor Lawrence's season as a quarterback?
Extremely improved. Because he was hitting receivers that they were just not. He deserved much more than he got when it came to receptions, all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm. To me, I felt like he showed there were some rookie moments where he didn't play well, but there are also some moments like this is why we drafted this guy at number 1, and I think Doug Peterson played a part in that. So that's it. It doesn't have to be similar numbers wise, but just like show. I want to see something from Bryce Young that shows this is the guy I saw at Alabama, and we made the right pick. And I think by doing that, they'll win a couple of games.
So, but it doesn't matter, for example, if he has a couple 3-4 interception games in the mix.
Yeah, that's fine. I just need to see something good.
Okay, I think that's fair, especially because their team is not built right now to succeed.
Yeah. So what do you have for Frank Reich?
So for Frank Reich, I said 6 wins, mainly because I'm really confident about this defense. This defense excites me. Now, losing DJ Moore hurts, but adding Adam Thielen and other reception options, I do think makes this team especially in this division, is mainly why I said 6. So 6-11, they should be able to beat the Bucks in a game at least. They should be able to beat the Saints even. I think in a game, or the Falcons. I think they should at least go 2-4 in their division, maybe 3-3, and then their schedule isn't too crazy hard. I think 6 is reasonable, and they have. I like some of the additions. Again, the Adam Thielen one I really like because Thielen hasn't been a number 1 wide receiver since Justin Jefferson came in the league. So now having him, that's just a great player, a veteran receiver, for a team that has a new number 1 pick. Like, you need those players for a team like this because it really will help them grow extremely fast.
Yeah, I think 6 is fair. That would be something I wouldn't be shocked and I sort of expect. So yeah, what do you have for Shane Steichen?
So for Shane Steichen, this one I really struggled with. I said 3 wins because I don't really trust Anthony Richardson. And I don't, again, this is where the first year, I said this in the NBA video. Go check that out. The Monty Williams one, was he fired too early? Please go check that out for a better kind of description of what I'm talking about. This year, they could lose every game, and I still would not be even worried at all. Anthony Richardson is one of the most raw prospects at the QB position taken this high in a long time. He has a lot of talent, a lot of potential, but I don't trust him right now, and he is to grow into that player for the future. So I have no expectations, and that's what 3 wins really shows you. Is I have no expectations.
Yeah, that I think 3 is fair, and my expectation is similar to Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young needs to play at a competitive level with Anthony Richardson and Shane Steichen. I'm expecting to see glimpses.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
Not-
I said.
yeah.
I said it more like see flashes, but it's completely fair to say, you don't need to see the second coming of Christ this season. Like
No.
it just needs to be consistent.
You need your fan. This is what I'm expecting. If I'm a fan and I see Anthony Richardson make one insane play, I want the fans. I'm expecting the fans to have moments where like he's going to be the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, and you need to have those glimpses because it really does show how improved the team is. Like especially because this wide receiver core isn't the best, and he's going to have some growing pains, and the offensive line's gotten worse, and Jonathan Taylor's had some injury problems. I do think there's a lot of problems here. Their defense is still not as good as it should be. So they could go 0-17, but if they show flashes and they show some fight, I still think it could be a great year in terms of for future success.
Yes, I totally agree. So yeah, we're on the same page. Then I want to save Sean Payton for last. Let's go with Jonathan Gannon.
So for the Cardinals, this one was really weird because they got rid of DeAndre Hopkins. J.J. Watt retired. I put 7 wins just for the fact that he's a new coach. Again, you shouldn't expect more, but I'm like, can I put him below the Panthers? And I said, no, you can't really put him below the Panthers. I expect more from this Cardinals team because Kyler is a quarterback and because he is, in my opinion, expected to be more. I know he may be out for the first couple games of the year, but still, they should get enough wins. The NFC is a weak conference in general. I don't think the Rams are going to be great. They're still play some bad teams in the other divisions. So I'm not that confident in the team, and that kind of shows.
Yeah, this one was weird because you have Kyler. To me, I said sign of good, but 7 wins to me, you be mediocre or you can't be terrible. You can show maybe it's a great road win or a couple of wins in a row, and then they taper off. Just something good that gives you better hope for the future.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So now let's go to D'Amico Ryans, and I'll start it off. Just similar to Gannon, but if it's 4 wins, it's fine. Maybe 5. But I want to see hope in the young players. I want to see CJ Stroud look great. Anderson is who they took at 2 or 3, right?
3, yeah. Will Anderson Jr.
Yeah, Will Anderson. I want him looking good. And if it's one big upset, I think that's meeting my expectations. Not to the Brian DeBall level, but just like one good.
This one's extremely similar to the Colts. I said 3 again. I think this team still has a lot to work on, and that 3 just again, it could be 4, it could be whatever, but I'm not having high expectations for the team, but what I wrote down as a note is have fun. I want to see the team enjoying playing. I want to see a big sack by Will Anderson and him getting up hype. I want to see a great pass by CJ Stroud and him celebrating. Have fun. Grow with intensity, but also passion. And I feel like that's what we see with a lot of these bad teams. What's the difference between a good rebuild and a bad rebuild when both teams are bad? Like a 3-14 team and a 3-14 team. One is obviously not having a good time and one is having a good time. And usually the ones that are having a good time become a good team. Usually, eventually down the line, a team that's having a positive rebuild, even if they are horrible, come out the other side looking much, much better.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to describe it. And yeah, we can just move on. This one, Sean Payton. I wanted to say a good offense, but if they have a good offense, they'll make the playoffs. So my expectation is playoffs.
Yeah, this is another one. I mean, you see, I had them winning, I believe, 13 games last year and getting the 1 seed in the AFC.
Okay.
So I don't know what to do with this one. I said 10 wins. So that's playoffs. It could also miss the playoffs at 10 wins because that's 10-7. But
yeah,
and I'll probably eventually change that prediction when we actually get to our predict. All these are subsequent to change. This is just me right now because again, one of these teams could sign DeAndre Hopkins could go to the Broncos, and that completely changes my opinion on how this team is moving forward. But and how I see signings and trades and injuries and all that stuff. But for right now, 10-7 is my expectation. I basically borderline playoff team. I just don't know how. Again, we talk about good rebuilds. The Broncos were not having fun last year. There was nothing fun about last season. Nothing. Nothing was fun.
Riding high.
Yeah. A team that had fun last year was the Panthers. The Panthers were horrible, but there was a lot of games with the Panthers. They just looked like they were just having a lot of fun. Like they were just enjoying life. And when a team is not doing that, you can tell, and it's pretty evident, especially at the end of the season, which is really when the Broncos fell apart even more because they realized they were out of a playoff hunt and they gave their pick to the Seahawks, and the Seahawks were having fun, and they got their pick and all that other stuff. So it really didn't work out for them. But for them, borderline playoffs. Sean Payton's an experienced coach, but again, it's a new system, new players, everything else. I think we should give them time. They may not make the playoffs, but right now I have them as a borderline.
Yeah, I think you need to be a borderline.
They have to be competitive, extremely competitive. Like you can't go below 500, or I think serious consideration for trading or doing something with Russell Wilson is warranted.
Well, yeah, I don't know what they could do, but yeah, it would be the sign of the end times for the Broncos. So yeah, I think we're all on the same page for expectations. And yeah, that's all we got. Let us know what you think. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.